how did you come to start the company? Were you inspired by Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook? Or was it something that you just thought, wow, that's happening over there, let's do something in Russia similar?
Actually, it began even prior to Facebook's success when I had this projects for my fellow students when I was a student at the St. Petersburg State University. So I had these community projects, we had discussion boards, chats, we had a section where you could exchange materials for your examinations and things like that, the lessons, everything. And so it was in the beginning of this century, so it's like 10 years ago. So I started really early, and I built a community around it. But when I graduated the university at 2006, I realized that I'm not good at supporting projects for students because I'm no longer a student. So what I had to do, I had to create a project for graduates and for young professionals who graduated to this high-profile important universities like St. Petersburg State University, Moscow State Universities, and so on. And it turned out to be very successful because there was really a need for it. I solved my personal problem because I needed a tool to keep in touch with my fellow students. And actually the Russian name of VK, which is Vkontakte, means in touch. So this is a tool for staying in touch. And it grew very rapidly, so it was.
I mean, you must keep a very close eye on Facebook and what they're doing. I mean, are there important differences in terms of how your site has evolved compared to the directions that they've been taking?
Sure. What you have in the Russian market is that you don't have a lot of young companies, a lot of startups, a lot of infrastructure to support you. So if Facebook was very open from the beginning and they didn't need to create their own video services or their own sophisticated audio services and so on, we had to build it from scratch because you didn't have them on the Russian market. Because if users wanted to do this, we couldn't just forward them to YouTube.
There's no Shona Parkera to come around and give you advice either. And,
yeah.
So what did you do? I mean, so it's much more all-encompassing system, is it? That you
Absolutely, yeah. It's a bit more centralized. It used to be a bit more centralized. It's much more open now. But at some point, VK accounted for 50% of Russian traffic. I'm not sure if it's true right now, but it used to be. But if it's not true right now, it's a good sign, because more and more companies appear and attract traffic on this.
And I guess Facebook has evolved to have much more sharing of video, much more like the relationship with Spotify, where people are now sharing what music they're listening to, the news feeds and so forth. I mean, have you found that the experience that you're offering, the various services you're offering your Russian customers, I mean, has that changed dramatically over the last 2 or 3 years, or is it still pretty incremental?
Well, actually, yeah, we are very innovative in this. Every month we introduce 7 major improvements to the site, and we announce it loudly. These are the 7 new things of this month. Well, and for example, talking about Spotify, and Daniel Ek visited me in St. Petersburg a few weeks ago, and he said, look, we've done this thing with Facebook, maybe you should consider doing the same with us. And I said, yeah, it sounds nice, but we already have an audio service of our own because of our history. And then 2 weeks ago, we announced that you could see what your friends are listening to, and you could switch in and you could listen to the songs your friends is listening to, and then when he finishes to listen this one and goes to the next one, you can continue. And this is like a radio, really. And this is something that Facebook only announced. They didn't build it yet. And one of the things that they're a bit slower about this is that when you have a partnership and you have to rely on a third party to do something, this communication costs apply.